Hey guys, today I'm back with another deck review. Today I'm going to be reviewing my new deck, which is Branded Despia Shaddoll. Now I got this deck idea from a friend of mine, and I thought about it, and I decided to turn it into a deck idea. Now this deck doesn't use the Dogmaster cards like a lot of people would use them, because I find that they hinder the deck more than make it useful. So to start things off, I play 3 copies of Fallen of Albaz. I find that this is a staple for any people or person playing a Despia deck or branded. Next, I play 3 copies of Aluba. Aluba is pretty simple. It allows you to add your spell and trap cards from deck to hand and let you work into your combos more easy. I play 2 copies of Despian Tragedy. Tragedy, most people know, it allows me to add all my Despia cards from deck to hand. And as normal, dramatising ad libitum. Now, I do not play comedy in this deck, as I find that Despian comedy isn't really useful for most times now, and it can easily be played out. Now, for the Shaddoll stuff, I keep it pretty simple. I play 2 copies of Shaddoll Dragon. Dragon is a brilliant card to use in this format, because when combo with like my branded fusion, Shaddoll fusion, or any fusion, you can use this end graveyard effect to easily pop your opponent's back row, which makes it a statement card. And also 2 copies of Shaddoll Photo. Photo, again, it's easy because you can send it to your graveyard while throwing into your fusion, and then Photo's effect, as you know, will use it to bring it back. And if ever flipped over, you should use it to redirect one of your Shaddoll fusion monsters, which will be used in this deck, or Shaddoll Dragon face down. So even if they do somehow pop it again and not flip it up, its graveyard effect will still go off and then give you another back row pop. Now then, I also play 2 copies of Spinnigan's Kit and 1 Tri-Blade Materia. Kit is useful for getting my spell and trap cards from grave, banished, or deck to hand, and allows me to put one on the bottom if I ever need to. And Materia, again, is another card that not a lot of people expect in most decks, but is good. For hand traps, I keep it nice and simple. I only play 2 copies of Ash Blossom. You can play 3, but when playing, I found when playing 3, I would always draw into a third when it wasn't needed and I need something else. And as well, 2 copies of DD Crow for banishing my opponent's graveyard, and also 1 copy of the Light Sealed Fusion, which I can use to go into my Light Fusions or use it as a named material. For spell and traps, I play 3 copies a branded fusion. Most people know what this does. It just allows me to get into my fusions, so I can send cards like my Albaz, and also, if I want to, my Shaddoll cards, and start off a combo. Like, I could send my Photo to go into Rebellion, and then use a combo off that. I also play 2 copies of Branded in Red. You can play 3, but I played 2, and I've never had no trouble with only 2. And 1 copy of the Despia Theatre of the Branded. Again, people, they use this card, they know what it does. It's easy for getting into your fusions and also reviving if ever need be. I play 2 copies of Shaddoll Fusion, which allows me to go into my, as you know, Shaddoll extra deck. And also, it's very good for Ash baiting as well. So if they would Ash the Fusion, you can also go into your Branded Fusion. And either way, you can still go into a full combo. I also play 2 copies of Fusion Deployment. Again, this is mainly just so I can get into my Fallen of Albaz's. So if I never draw an opening hand, but I do get a Fusion Deployment, I can add Albaz from deck to hand and then work it like that. I play 1 copy of Polymerization and 1 copy of Super Polymerization. And my final 2 spells are Dark Water No More. For traps, I keep it simple. I only play 4 traps. 2 imperms. Again, you can play 3, but I've only needed 2. 1 Shaddoll Schism, which allows you to banish your Shaddoll monsters, and also say your Despian monsters if ever need be, to go into fusions. And also one Get Out. Get Out is a trap card that not a lot of people expect because of how easy it is to return my opponent's cards to their extra deck again, so they could get out their cards but then lose them at the same time. For the extra deck, I keep it simple. I play one copy of Shaddoll Construct, one copy of Winder. These two are very good because for Winder you can go into an easy lot, and also Construct will allow me to easily just destroy my opponent's special summon monsters. And in today's format, you are most likely to go up against a person who has already special summoned out at least 2 or 3 cards in their first turn. I also play 2 copies of Albion the Branded Dragon. Again, just for another simple fusion. Same with Libellion, because you can also go into combo, as I said, to bring out Libellion using your Falcor Dragon if you ever needed to. Or you can still go into Tragedy, but with Falcor, you'd always revive itself, then use it as a fusion. Or, as I said, with Tragedy, get your other Despian cards to hand and perhaps go into a card like Masquerade. I also play 1 copy of Mirror Jade. Now, for the Despian fusions, I play 1 copy of Despian Coyotes and 2 copies of Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. And then for other random cards, I play Starving Venom Dragon. Starving Venom Dragon is a very good card to use, especially in a Despian Shaddoll deck, which is the vast majority Dart, with the only light cards being the Construct and the Light Hexil fusion. I also play Guardian Chimera as well. Guardian Chimera is one of the reasons why I play Polymerization in this deck. That for if you've been in the graveyard, my Guardian will have a 1-turn protect, which is very helpful. And also 1 copy of Red Eyes Dart Doom. In this deck, I've never really seen the use for Doom, but I use it as a last resort if ever need be. One thing I did forget to mention is the branded openings, and I would highly recommend using branded openings in this deck. The reason I didn't is because I don't have my own, and the ones I originally was using were borrowed copy, but I would recommend using openings. For a quick 5-card hand, I will show you the Despian Tragedy, a second Tragedy, Shaddoll Schism, Shaddoll Fusion, and a Fusion Deployment. This, in my opinion, is a really good opening hand. For example, you could play your Fusion Deployment to get your Fauna of Albaz in hand. If you do that Ash Blossoms, it's alright because they've used their 1 Ash, so you can go into your Shaddoll Fusion, send in cards like Tragedy to add your Luba, and then go into a full combo there. But if not, you could say reveal Albion to get your Fauna of Albaz from deck to hand, and then go and combo through that. But, I said, if you did get Ashed, no worries. So I said you would send this to grave. They've used their 1 Ash for this turn. You could play your Shaddoll Fusion, send in your targets to grave. For example, I'm going to be sending, I can find it, Shaddoll Falco and Tragedy. Now, as you know, they will both have grave effects. But I said I could easily go into Shaddoll Winder, then use Falco effects and Tragedy effects. I could use Falco to bring it back. I said face down. This is an optional effect, you don't have to. And then Tragedy effect will let me add, say, my Aluba from deck to hand. But I said, as you know, because a Shaddoll Winder, it will lock you into a fusion once per. But I said you would have a Aluba in hand, so you could play Aluba, use his effect to add your cards like Branded in Red. You could add Branded Fusion, but for now, I would say Branded in Red. And then you could always set it, and then next turn, flip over, use these to go into a card like Masquerade, Starving Venom, even Guardian Chimera, because as you know, you have a Tragedy in hand, and you could go into any fusion, as you know. So I said, but as well, if you didn't bring Tragedy back but still added your Aluba, you could always set your Shaddoll Schism face down, or if need be. But I said this is just a quick combo I thought I'd show you with the deck, and I hope you all enjoyed.